Hello, I'm Steve G. Jones, clinical hypnotherapist, and welcome to the Ultimate Conversational Hypnosis Mega Module on anchoring. Now, anchoring is simply creating an association between a particular state and an action and a sound. So you're connecting an emotion with an action and a sound that will then trigger that emotion. So what is an anchor itself? An anchor is a gesture or action and a sound. We'll get into that a little more later on to refresh your memory about what anchors are, but right now I want to talk about different responses that you can get by using anchors. You can cause yourself to be confident, to be motivated, to feel strength, to feel energy, to feel a sense of humor, to feel intelligent, to feel powerful, to feel creative. There really are no limits when you think about it. Anchors can be used to cause you to tune into anything, any power, any emotion, any feeling that you need in the moment. Okay, so I want to give you some specific anchors that you can use, and what you're going to find is that they're very resourceful for you. You're going to be able to use them in key moments when you really need them. The first one involves anchoring a time when you accomplished a major goal. And for this one, we're going to use the head nod and saying, I can do this. The head nod meaning nodding your head like you're saying yes, and saying, I can do this. So the action is nodding the head. The words are, I can do this. And what you're going to anchor yourself to is accomplishing a major goal. And you can use this with public speaking, giving a presentation, accomplishing an actual goal, interviewing, debating, taking a test. Whatever it is you need to use it for that applies to it, you can use it for. So enjoy this, and let's go ahead and talk about how to install it. All you do to install this anchor is think about a time when you did achieve a major goal. A graduation, passing a test, getting the job you wanted, winning a competition, a major goal that you accomplished. All you have to do is think about a major goal that you accomplished. And while you're thinking about that, you need to make it more clear in your mind. Turn up the sounds, turn up the sights, turn up the smells, what odors are associated with it, good or bad. Anything that you can associate with it. Was there a taste? Were you eating something? Is there anything associated with it that you can think of that has to do with your senses? Sight, sound, smell, taste, feeling, the emotions. What were the emotions? What did you feel in that moment? So you think about that. You make all of those senses more intense, and then you go ahead and nod your head yes, and you say, I can do this. Now, what did that accomplish? That just anchored you to your accomplished goal, so that when you need to feel that you can accomplish something, all you have to do is nod your head yes and say, I can do this. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that simple and basic, something you can use right now, today? Yes, it is. It's part of ultimate conversational hypnosis, and it's something that's so simple yet so powerful. Think about it. Nodding your head and saying, I can do this, can help you accomplish something great? Yes, it can, because you're calling upon the energy that you had in the past. You're using the energy that you had and bringing it into the present, and it's even going to help you in the future. So enjoy that technique. All right, what other kind of anchors are there? Well, you can make a fist and say the word strength. Making a fist and saying the word strength can be an anchor for you. The simple action of making a fist and saying the word strength. Now, what you're going to want to do is think of a time when you felt strong, because this is going to be an anchor that helps you feel strong. So think about a time you were competing in an event and you won. Think about a time that you just felt really strong, a time that you felt on top of the world. You felt unstoppable. You felt very powerful. You felt strong. Think about that. Now, the uses of this will be dealing with difficult situations, confronting someone, confronting a fear. There are a lot of uses for this. So you're going to get a lot of mileage out of the strength anchor. Now, how do we do this? All you have to do with this anchor is say the word strength and make a fist. There's a little bit more to it in your mind that's going to happen while you're saying that. I want you to put yourself in a peak state. I want you to imagine yourself now in a time in your life when you felt on top of the world. When was it? When was it? And go back there now in your mind. Now, if you're driving, if you can pull over safely and do this, go ahead. But if you're not driving, you don't have any excuse. You can do it right now. If you are driving, you can probably do this later on when you listen to this recording again, because I'm sure you're going to listen to it again to make sure you've got everything down. So I want you to think of a time in your life when you felt on top of the world. You felt like everything was going your way. Everything was amazing, everything was just right, and everything was going your way. You probably just accomplished something. You probably just did something, and you feel amazing about it, and you'd like to recapture that moment. Okay, now, with your eyes closed, I want you to turn up the volume. Turn it up. Make everything more clear. Make everything louder. Whatever was going on, then make it louder. Now turn up the sights. What is there to see? So as I'm silent now, I want you to turn up the volume. What were you hearing when this was going on? What were you hearing? Make that volume of what you're hearing louder than anything else that you can hear around you right now. That's your challenge. Make it louder than anything else you can hear. Really turn up the volume of what you were hearing in the past. Do that now as I'm silent. Okay, now I want you to turn up the vision. What was there to see? Turn up the visual effects. What did you see during that moment that you felt so powerful? You just accomplished something, just won something. You felt strong and you felt good about yourself. What was there to see? Really intensify that. Make it more vivid than it was in reality. And I want you to do that right now as I'm silent. Good. Now I want you to turn up the smells. What smells were there? What did you smell? Were they good smells, bad smells? Doesn't matter. I want you to turn them up. Really make them intense now as I'm silent. Good. Now, what were you feeling? What were you feeling emotionally? Really turn that up now as I'm silent. Good. Now, what were you wearing and how did that feel in your body and what was the temperature like? In other words, what are the sensations on your skin? What does that feel like? Turn that up now. Make it more intense in that memory as I'm silent. Good. Now, were you moving? Was there some motion going on? Maybe you were moving just a little bit. Maybe you were walking, running, biking, swimming. Who knows? Was there any motion? motion? Were you moving? Even if you're just moving your body slightly, focus on the motion of that memory as I am silent. Good. And was there anything to taste? Was there a taste in your mouth? Were you eating food? Were you chewing gum? Maybe chewing on a breath mint? Was there any taste going on? Or do you remember feeling full or feeling hungry? I want you to think of gustatory sensations, things that have to do with taste and eating. So think about those things in that memory as I'm silent. Good. Now, while you're feeling all of these things at a peak state, and really turn it up now, especially the emotion of feeling good and feeling strong, make a fist with one of your hands, whichever hand you normally use, whichever hand you favor, your main hand for writing. If you're ambidextrous, then just pick one. What's your favorite hand? Pick it now. Ball it up into a fist and say the word strength. Good. You've just anchored yourself to strength. We've just installed an anchor that you can use next time you're in a situation that you need to walk into and feel powerful and confident and strong. All you have to do is make a fist and say the word strength. Isn't that amazing? That's all you have to do. You'll immediately be put back in that memory of yourself being strong and confident and feeling great, feeling on top of the world. What an amazing way to go into a situation. And remember, as I said, you can use that one for dealing with a difficult situation, confronting someone, confronting a fear. There's so many situations that you can use that in. Okay, let's go ahead and install another anchor. This one we're just going to call confidence. And all you're going to have to do to fire this one off is sit up taller and think confidence. That's right, you're going to sit up straight, excellent posture, and say the word confidence. That's all you have to do to fire this one off. Isn't that amazing? You walked in, you wanted to feel strength, you made a fist and said the word strength. Now you're sitting down at the date or the presentation or whatever it is, and you want to feel confident. All you have to do is sit up tall and say confidence. And you can say it to yourself. You can say it inside your mind if you want, or you can say it quietly to yourself. You don't have to sit up tall and say confidence. That's going to draw undue attention to you. That's not what we want. I want you to have some anchors that you can use that are practical. Practical anchors are going to save the day because you're going to be able to fire them off all day long without anyone knowing it. They're not going to involve any song and dance or you doing jumping jacks or standing on your head or anything that's going to draw undue attention to you. They're going to be easy to use. Just like the head nod saying, I can do this, making the fist saying strength, sitting up straight and saying confidence. So let's think of a time right now. Let us, meaning let you think of a time right now when you felt confident. Maybe you were on a date and you felt great. Maybe you did a presentation and went flawlessly. Maybe you won an athletic event. Maybe you graduated from something. When did you feel confident? Think about it right now. Now, if you're driving, if you can pull over safely, fine. If not, then do this later when you listen to this recording again, because you're going to listen to it again no matter what. You've got to get this information down. You've got to install these anchors. I want you to have these anchors. My gift to you is these anchors. Have them. Use them. Always. Think of that time now when you felt confident. And as I'm silent, I want you to really turn up the volume, the sounds that were around. Make them louder than anything you're going to hear while you're silent. Make your memory sounds louder than anything else. Really turn them up now as I'm silent. Do this now. Good. Were you able to hear the sounds associated with that memory in which you were confident? Good. Now, as I'm silent, I want you to turn up the sights. What was there to see? What did you visually experience? What were the colors? How bright was the room? How bright was it outside? Wherever you were, make it even brighter. Make the colors even more vivid. Do this now as I'm silent. Okay, wonderful. Now what I want you to do is turn up the emotions. What emotions did you feel? Something happened that made you feel confident. You felt the emotion of confidence and everything that goes with it. Happiness, joy, everything that goes with it you felt. I want you to really tune into that now as I'm silent. Really crank up those emotions. Let your heart really feel them as I'm silent. Do this now. Okay, good. Now, what about the feeling of your skin? Was it hot, cold, wet, dry? Did you have a lot of clothes on? Did you have very few clothes on? What were the sensations on your skin when you felt confident? What was going on? What did you physically feel? What did you touch? What did you feel on your skin? All over your body. Tune into that. Make it even more intense. Do it now as I'm silent. Good. And was there any motion involved? Were you walking? Were you moving in some way? Tune into the motion as I'm silent. Good. What about any odors where you were? Good or bad, whether you liked them or didn't, doesn't matter. Smell, the olfactory sense, binds us tightly to memories. So a great way to trigger a memory is to remember the odors associated with the memory. Go ahead and tune into them now as I'm silent. Good. And was there anything that you could taste? Was there a taste in your mouth? Did you have something in your mouth? Did you feel full? Did you feel hungry? Tune into that now as I'm silent. Good. Now I want you to really crank up the emotions. Focus again on the emotions, how good you felt, how confident you felt. Now sit up straight and tall and say the word confidence. Good. You've just installed an anchor for confidence. So anytime you need to feel confident, all you have to do is sit up straight and tall and say the word confidence. And this has a number of uses. It's useful for dating. It's useful for interviewing. It's useful for tackling a problem. Problems become challenges when you're confident. See, a problem may or may not get solved. A challenge is just a hurdle that you're going to jump over. It's challenging, but it's not going to stop you. A problem might stop you. But when a problem becomes a challenge, then it's actually exciting, and you're going to win because you are up for the challenge. You're a master of ultimate conversational hypnosis, so you are up for the challenge. All right, let's install another anchor, an anchor for power. You've already got an anchor for strength. How about one for power? Power means you are in charge. You are the ultimate authority. You are very powerful, very full of energy. You have all the energy that you need to get something done. Power gives you that. You're going to be able to lead others. You're going to be able to compete athletically. You're going to be able to do something new. You have the power. You have the energy to do it. Let's go ahead and install an anchor for power. So you need to think of a time when you felt powerful. Maybe you were leading a group of people in a project, and the project went really well. Maybe you won a competition. Maybe you saved someone's life. Power. What made you feel powerful? Think of it now. And as I'm silent, I want you to really turn up the sights. What was there to see? What appeals to your sense of vision in that memory? Turn that up now as I'm silent. Good. Now I want you to turn up the sounds. What did you hear? Turn them up now as I'm silent. Good. Now I want you to focus on your feelings, your emotions. What did you feel during that powerful moment? When you did something powerful, what did you feel emotionally? Turn that up now as I'm silent. Good. Now, was there an emotion involved? Were you moving? Were you moving your body at all? If you were, tune into that now in that memory as I'm silent. Good. Now, how did your clothes feel on your skin? How did your clothes feel? How did your body feel with the temperature of the room or where you were? Was there a breeze? Was it hot, cold, wet, dry? Did you have clothes? Did you have many clothes? Did you have a few clothes? How did they feel on your body? Were you swimming? That's a completely different feeling if you were swimming. Tune in to what was going on. What was against your skin? What did you feel? Physically feel. Were you touching something? Were you holding something? What did you feel? Tune into that as I'm silent. Good. Now I want you to tune into any smells, any odors in the room or wherever you are. Tune into them now, good or bad, whether you like them or not. Tune into them. Make them even more powerful as I'm silent. Good. Now I want you to tune into your sense of taste and the idea of eating. So did you feel full? Did you feel hungry? Could you taste something in your mouth? Were you eating? Did you have perhaps a mint in your mouth? Some gum? What was going on between what you taste and how full or not full you feel? We call that the gustatory sense. Tune into that now as I'm silent. Good. Now, make everything more powerful in your mind. Make the memory more powerful. That's right. Really turn it up. Turn up the sight, sound, volume, feelings, taste, smells, everything. Turn it all up. Now, all I want you to do is blink both of your eyes and say the word power. All right, you've just installed an anchor for power, and it's as simple as that. All you have to do is blink your eyes and say the word power. Look how far you've come in such a short period of time. You know how to nod your head and say, I can do this. You can install that one later on your own. It's part of your homework. We didn't install that one. I just told you about it. Install that one on your own as part of your homework. Nodding your head and saying, I can do this. That involves anchoring a time when you accomplished a major goal. The ones we did install are making a fist and saying strength, sitting up tall and thinking confidence or saying confidence, and now blinking your eyes and saying the word power. You've come a long way in just a few minutes. You've got a lot of anchors now, a lot going for you. Now, if you didn't install these anchors, if you've just been sitting there eating potato chips and listening to what I'm saying, then I want you to listen to this again. I want you to install those anchors. These are going to help you tremendously. These alone could revolutionize your entire life. If you're firing off these anchors all day long, power, confidence, strength, the idea that you can do this, you're going to become a new person. You're going to start showing up in your life in a different way. You're going to start being a new man or a new woman. You're going to find that situations change to accommodate you because you are living in your strength now. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep moving forward in this anchor fest, revolutionizing who you are and the way you show up in your life. What about an anchor for motivation? This is going to help you accomplish goals, train for events if you have to, work to get a promotion in your job, start your own business, organize your house. Think about any time you need motivation. Motivation is what allows you to get out of bed in the morning. Motivation is what allows you to reach the top of your class, the top of your graduating class. Motivation is what allows you to beat the competition in whatever field you're in, whether you're a salesperson, an athlete, whoever you are and whatever you do. Motivation allows you to be your best. From start to finish, motivation is there. From the time you get out of bed, you get the motivation to get yourself out of bed from that moment until the time when you are accomplishing the greatest thing you've ever accomplished in your life. The whole time it took motivation. So let's install an anchor right now for motivation. Okay, so think about a time when you felt very motivated. Think about a time when you were just so motivated you felt you could accomplish anything in your life. All right, it could be a time when you worked on a project and it came together easily. It could be a time when you were studying for a class that you really enjoyed. It could be a time that you accomplished a goal. and you felt motivated to accomplish the next one. You realized how easy that was. I'll go ahead and do the next one. I'll go ahead and do the next 10 goals. You realized that you were very motivated. Tune into that now. Pick a memory. Just go ahead and pick one. We all have times when we felt motivated. If you're struggling for one at this point, you're thinking, oh, I went through all my good memories already. Well, you were motivated this morning to get out of bed. You got out of bed. If you're listening to this in bed, then you were motivated yesterday morning to get out of bed. How's that? But you had some motivation recently, and it made you feel good. So tune into it, no matter how great or how small. Preferably tune into something that really felt great, a great sense of motivation. But I just want you to pick one right now. You can always redo this. You can always use a new memory later. Pick a time when you felt motivated. Okay, so I know that you've been through a lot of different memories now. I'm going to give you a little time now to pick a time when you're motivated. How's that? So as I'm silent, pick a time when you felt motivated. Okay, good. You got it? Good. Great. Let's move forward. Now, I want you to really turn up the sights. What was there to see during that event when you felt motivated? What did you see? What were you looking at? I want you to turn that up now. Make it even more clear in your mind, crystal clear, even more clear than it was in the actual event. Your vision has just improved 10 times. I want you to really turn it up now and see what there is to see in that memory. Do this now as I'm silent. Okay, outstanding. Now I want you to turn up the sounds. What did you hear? What was there that you could hear in that memory? I want you to turn that up now. Really crank up what there was to hear as I'm silent. Good. Now, what did you feel emotionally about that event? You felt great, didn't you? You were motivated. Turn that up now in that memory as I'm silent. Good. Now, what was the sensation on your skin? What were you wearing? How did it feel? What was the temperature like? Turn all of those sensations up now as I am silent. Good. Now, is there any motion involved in this? Were you moving? Was there motion? Turn that up now. Even if you're just moving a little bit, or a lot, doesn't matter. What motion on your part was involved in that memory? Turn that up now as I'm silent. Good. Now, was there anything to smell? Did you smell anything? Good or bad, whether you liked it or not, doesn't matter. Remember, smell binds us to a memory, binds us to the past. It takes us back. We walk by a dozen roses and we remember when we gave them to our first love or received them. Smells bind us to the past. We walk by someone who's wearing a certain perfume or cologne, and we think of someone who wore that perfume or cologne. So turn up the smells associated with that event as I'm silent. Good. Now, was there anything to taste? Were you full? Were you hungry? Were you eating something? Was there a taste sensation in your mouth? If there was, turn all that up as I'm silent. Now, I want you to turn up everything. Sight, sound, smells, taste, everything. Turn it all up now. Turn it up. Crank it up to the maximum level in that memory. Turn it up. Good. Very good. Now, what I want you to do is scratch your forehead with either hand. Remember which hand you use, though. Scratch your forehead with either hand and say, motivation. Good. Now you've anchored yourself for motivation. You now have an anchor for motivation, scratching your head and saying motivation. You are living a very powerful life. You're installing all of these anchors, and if you fire them off every opportunity you get, you're going to find that you're living more powerfully. Now, you want to reinstall them probably once a week. You want to go through this exercise again and reinstall them. Listen to the recording again one more time, and then thereafter, if you need to, help you remember how to do this. But after a while, you'll know how to do it. You'll know how to reinstall those anchors. Do it once a week. Make sure that you have these anchors installed. You've got to keep them fresh. Just like a piano will go out of tune, your anchors will become weak after a while. After you've installed them, if you keep firing them off, they're going to diminish in power. So you need to reinstall them about once a week. Keep them fresh. All right, what about an anchor for intelligence? You may be thinking, now how can I increase my intelligence just by doing something and saying something? Sounds a little odd. Well, that would be odd because you're not going to increase your intelligence. Think about that song, Oz never did give anything. I think the song says Oz never did give nothing to the Tin Man, but Oz never did give anything to the Tin Man that he didn't already have. We're not giving you anything you don't already have. I'm not giving you intelligence. I'm not saying that you can move something and get more intelligence. Of course, I believe that people's intelligence can improve over time if they open their minds up to things like piano lessons and doing crossword puzzles and just paying attention to what's going on and learning new things. But that's not what we're talking about right now. What we're talking about is accessing the intelligence you already have. Let's face it, we all dumb down from time to time, don't we? We all kind of play dumb or act dumb, or we kind of become a little dumb sometimes because we're really not using our full intelligence. We're not applying ourselves in every situation. And that's okay, because we don't have to always apply ourselves in every situation. But when you do need it, when you do need to turn it on, when you need to have that extra boost of intelligence, the intelligence that you already have, then this is going to help. Think about it like a cup full of water. The cup is full of water. You can drink as much as you want. Think of that as your total intelligence, that cup full of water. That water is the intelligence you have. That's all the intelligence you have right there in that cup. Now, if you need to use your intelligence, you have a choice. You can drink part of the cup. You can just ignore the cup. You can drink all of the cup. Well, if that cup is your intelligence and you need your intelligence for something, why not drink all of the cup every time? The magical thing about it is it renews itself. You're going to drink it all, but it's still going to be there the next time. You can use all of your intelligence in every situation if you want to. Now, you don't always have to, but certain situations really require it. So you're going to want to tap into it. So what if you had an anchor to tap into the full power of your intelligence? That's what I'm going to give you right now. And this can be helpful for taking a test. Think about it right before you take a test. Not only do you need your intelligence intact, but you need to be calm as well. But taking a test, intelligence is very important, very powerful. You also need your memory intact during that time, but your intelligence is going to help you tremendously. Trying to solve a problem, if you're working on a crossword puzzle or learning something new on the piano or working a math problem, trying to solve a problem, you need your intelligence. You need it to really kick in, not half of it, but all of it. What about when you're talking to an intelligent person? You're going through life, you're dealing with people, you're thinking, okay, this person's kind of halfway on, this person's 3/4 on, and then comes a person who's all the way on. They're very intelligent. You're talking with them, you're thinking, oh my goodness, my light's been kind of half dim for a while. I better crank it up. So now you need to have it all the way on. What do? Well, having an anchor to tap into the full level of your intelligence, the intelligence you already have, that's going to be very helpful. What about giving a presentation? When you give a presentation, guess what? Sometimes people ask questions. They're going to ask you about what you're talking about. Wouldn't it be nice if you could intelligently answer all of their questions? So having access to the full level of your intelligence is going to be helpful. Let's install an anchor right now so that you can use it when you need to access the intelligence that you already have. All you're going to do, I'm going to let you in ahead of time on what we're going to do. All you're going to do is take your index finger of one of your hands, whichever hand you prefer, index finger, and touch the temple on that side of your head and say the word intelligence. That's right. It's like you're pointing to your head and you're saying, I'm intelligent. So you're taking the index finger of whichever hand you want and pointing to the temple of your head, the side of your head, actually touching the skin, and you're saying just that, just the word intelligence. All right, now I want you to think about a time when you felt intelligent. Maybe you won an argument, maybe you got an A in a difficult class, maybe you solved a complicated problem. Could be math, could be a social problem, could be a problem in your life. You turned it into a challenge, and you went for it and you solved it. Think about a time when you used your intelligence and it paid off. Take a moment. I've been really taxing your brain here, having you think about all kinds of good memories. Oh my goodness, what a burden. I have to think about all these times when I was powerful and strong, and now I have to think about a time when I was intelligent. What's he trying to do to me? I'm going to be silent now and let you think about a time when you really tapped into your intelligence and it really paid off. Do that now as I'm silent. Good. Now I want you to turn up the sounds associated with that event. What sounds were there? Turn them up now in your mind as I'm silent. Good. Now I want you to think about the sights. What was there to see? What did you see during that time? Turn it up now. Make it more crisp, vivid, clear, bright. Do that now as I'm silent. Good. Now, I want you to tune into the emotions that you had. How did you feel? Using your full intelligence, having it pay off, how did you feel? Tune into that now as I'm silent. Good. Now, what about motion? Was there any motion? Were you moving? Was your body moving at all? Tune into that now as I'm silent. Good. How did your skin feel? What were the sensations on your skin? Was it hot, cold, dry, wet, damp, muggy? Was it raining? Think about it. Tune into that now in that memory as I'm silent. Good. Now, are there any smells associated with that memory? Tune into them now as I'm silent. Were there any tastes associated with that memory? Did you taste anything? Did you feel full? Did you feel hungry? How did your stomach feel? What were the sensations in your mouth? The gustatory sensations. Think about all of that as I'm silent. Good. Now, in this memory of you demonstrating your intelligence and having it pay off, I want you to turn up everything, the feelings, the sights, the sounds, everything. Turn it all up. Make it all crystal clear in your mind. And as you're doing that, I want you to use whichever hand you want. Use the index finger of that hand, and on that side of your head, touch your temple and say intelligence. Do this now. Good. So you've just installed an anchor for intelligence. Now, when you use anchors, you can stack them. You can stack as many anchors as you want. So, for example, in that example of intelligence that I just gave you, you can think of other times when you felt intelligent and do the same exercise and anchor it the same way, using your index finger, saying the word intelligence. That's called stacking anchors. You can do that with any of them that we've installed or any other ones that you want to do. Now, can you access them all at the same time, you might wonder? If I go into a place, you might look like a baseball coach. You know, the baseball coaches who are sitting off to the side and they're touching their hat and they're touching their shoulders and so forth, and those are signals to the baseball players to do certain things. You may walk into a place and end up looking like one of them. But yes, you can. You can fire them all off at the same time, preferably one after the other, though. There's something called collapsing anchors that happens when we fire off anchors that are opposed to each other at the same time. So you probably want to avoid firing them off at the same time, even though they're not opposed to each other, just to be on the safe side. Why not one after the other? So if you're one of those people who's just got to be on top of your game when you walk into something and you want every ounce of energy and power and strength and intelligence that you can muster, I can relate to that, then you want to fire them off. But how about doing them one after the other? Just have a little routine where you do them one after the other. Or you can just use one randomly here and there, or maybe some of them you don't ever need to use. But I recommend using all of them every day. Why not? Why wouldn't you want to be on top of your game every single day? All right, so your homework, of course, is just to practice these, to go into a situation and fire them off. You already have them installed. If you were driving and you couldn't install them, then I understand. Listen to the recording again. Even if you've installed them, listen to the recording again to make sure you understand the material. But your homework is to fire off these anchors, to wake up tomorrow and decide, this day I'm going to fire off my anchors. And hopefully you'll wake up every day for the rest of your life thinking that. And once a week, you'll reinstall your anchors. But at the very least tomorrow, wake up with the intention of firing off all of these anchors. Use them all tomorrow. Find out how much more powerfully you can live when you're living in your real power and your real strength and your real intelligence.